Hi, I'm Ari, and in this video we're going to build this web application using materialized CSS and pure JavaScript classes. By the way, I hope you guys are doing fine. As for me, I'm really excited to present this tutorial to you. Alright, enough of the intro. In this app, we're going to request data from Github API by saying, hey Github, do you have PHP in your repo? PHP. Then GitHub will be like, chill. Let me check it out. Then we're going to relapse. So GitHub will search its repository and give us whatever we are requesting for. Immediately we grab the data and display it in our web application. And we can click on this PHP here to take us to the repo page in GitHub. And same thing, we can ask, we can search for Java. So we're up on Java and we can click on this Java to take us to the Java repo page. Actually, this tutorial is to familiarize ourselves on how to kickstart our journey working with API. So if you are ready and I'm ready, let's do this. Alright guys, let's build our UI. So let's go to materializedcss.com, click on get started, and we need this template download on my desktop. So I have to unzip this, just rename it to GitHub. So drag this here. So in my index.html, I just want to go live. What is this? Go live, and this is our website up and running. Let me use Chrome. So our website is up and running, but this is not what we need. We need something like this. So let's begin. In the index.html file, in our body section, so let's work on this. The logo should be GitHub repo. So let's save that and see. Yeah, GitHub repo. And we need the navbar. We need black in the navbar. So in our nav, so instead of the light blue, we use our black. Save. Yeah, perfect. So we're progressing. Then in our the logo test, which is this brand test here, the brand test, we need an orange brand logo. So the brand, we need orange, a class of orange test. Yeah, perfect. And this is for the mobile, so we'll leave that. Get started in this. We don't actually need, let me see this. Yeah, we need a container, but we don't need this. Yeah, so also we don't need this test. Let's remove from here. Then from this container, we don't need it also. So just quickly delete this. So save. Yeah, we're progressing. Then in terms of the footer, from this container, well, let me leave the container, and then from this row, let's get rid of it. So from here to, yeah, I don't think we need a container. So let's save, and that is it. Then we need the body. Here's the body section. We just have a class of black. These are all materialized classes. So this is it. So in here, our starter template, so we want to change that to search GitHub repository. So a starter template here should be replaced to Github. Yeah, so we have this. So we need our form right here. So to implement that, let's go to materialize CSS, and search for test input. I think we need this. This is what I use. Just copy this and paste it here. So this will be the form section. Let me save and see how it looks. Alright, so we don't need out of the telephone section, so we'll delete this. Let me save. Alright, so that will be fetch repo. Okay, so instead of 6 we'll go to 12 to just give it to make it stretch towards the side. And in this circle, which is this icon here, so we need that search. We need a different one. So I think I used materialize CSS icon. So let me search for location. I use location. Yeah, location session is what I use. So in the icons, we're gonna use location session. I think that is it, right? Let's see. Yeah, location. What's first name? Fetch repo. This should be fetch. The label should be fetch repo. Yeah, perfect. What next? So this we're gonna use a dev with what they call display repo. A dev with an ID of attribute ID of display repo. So this would be display repo. So we'll let me give every just try to be neat here. So this would be display results, right? Alright, so this is an ID of display repo, and also in our input I want to give a class of because if we stop typing here, see what happens, we can't see anything. So we want to give it a class of orange test. Let's save it and see. Let me stop typing. Yeah, so it's working. And also we want to give our custom class of search Github. Search Github. Search Github. So let me save, and I think HTML everything is up and running. Alright guys, let's begin. So we want to create a couple of files. So the first one will be app.js, and we need UI.js, and last but not the least we need github.js. Alright, so in our index.html file we want to link them. We want to connect to this file. So I just want to paste in this script with a attribute of src. So I want you to pay attention to the order: the github.js first, followed by UI and the app.js. So let me save that. So in our app.js we want to search repo, right? So what we want to do now, so we actually want to target this input right here. Okay, so to do that we're going to create a variable with a constant type of search repo. So document dot query selector So what do we want to select? Remember, the reason why we're using query selector is because we actually in the where are you in the form? In this input, we actually give it a custom class of search Github. So in here, we're going to use the dot. We're going to target this search Github, which is we are actually targeting this input right here. All right, so that is it. And so with that being said, so what next? We want to add an event listener. So to do that, we take this variable, then dot add event listener. So what do we actually want to listen for? We're listing for key hop. All right. So command, and then we want to pass our event handler, and we're going to use an arrow function here, just as the name implies, arrow. Then so what do we want to do? We want to get the get input test. That is to say, if I should type HTML here, I want to get this input test right here. So to do that, we want to create a variable with a constant type of user test, which will be equal to the target. We need the value, right? Dot value. We need value. So let's console log this to see dot log. Let's console log this variable. So I want to reload and inspect console. So in here I need HTML. Let me type. Wow, it's working perfectly. Java, right? Ruby. Okay, this is up and running. So the next question might now is, since we are receiving our input, we are able to receive our input, whatever we type in here. So what are we going to do with it? So let's actually check. So to check, we're going to use if this user test. Are you sure you have a value? So that is what we're going to do. So if the user test is not empty, so if it is not empty, so what do we want to do? What are we going to do if it's not empty? Since we have Ruby here, so what are we going to do with that test, that Ruby right in here? So we want to let's create comment. We want to make an HTTP call to GitHub API. I want to make an HTTP call to GitHub API. And yes, what about if there is no value in there? You supposing we don't have any value right in here. So what are we going to do? So we're going to use the S here. S. For now, I think we don't know what to do right now, right? So we don't know what to do, right? For now, we don't actually know what to do. But the best option should be like, if there is no test here, we want you to alert to just to alert us. Please impute a test, those kind of strings. All right, so let me save this. So since we have a test in here, we are receiving a test from here, HTML, right? We want to make an HTTP call to GitHub API. So in our GitHub.js, let's create a class of um, GitHub, and in that class we need a an empty constructor. So I'm wondering, some of you might be wondering, what is a constructor in JavaScript? Actually, what a constructor does is a constructor is a function which initializes a value or sets the default values. That's to say, a constructor is called or invoked automatically whenever the instance of this class is called anywhere in our program. And so let me just go to my GitHub account. GitHub. go to GitHub account, and I want you to click on this your profile image and settings, then developer settings, register a new app. So we need repo app URL, the home page, localhost, and the callback URL, which is the authorization localhost. So register application. So we have our client ID as Dix. So I'll tell you the reason why I'm actually doing this. So in this, we're going to use this dot client underscore ID. So this should be alright, because we need this to be invoked immediately, and instance of this class is called. So we need this dot client underscore the secret, which should be equal to this, which is equal to this. So let me put semicolon, and we need one more, this dot repo underscore count. I'll tell you the reason why I'm doing this right now. So I need just 4. Alright, so the reason for all this is because let's search for GitHub API search. So if you click on guides and get started, see what happened in this because we have this s rate limit to that of 60. So what it does, the explanation is here actually. So unauthenticated client can make 60 requests per hour. You understand? So but we don't want to be an unauthenticated client, we want to be an authenticated one. So the reason for the authenticated one is because we actually want to you should see your rate limit bump to that of 5,000 requests an hour. That's to say when authenticating. You got it? So that is the reason why I actually go to GitHub and create that app over there. And for the search, let me show you the reason why I implement this, why we are using this the repo underscore count to be 4 in our search repo in this per page, because in this parameter we can use this query this name, queue, sort, and order. But so if we should make a GitHub call to this, suppose I need HTML, see what happen. So altogether we are receiving 100 responses, but I don't want that. We don't want that, because in this documentation this method returns up to 100 results per page. So this is at 100 results per page. So I want to limit it to that of 4. So that is the reason. So, and to do that I actually need this per page, per underscore page. So that is the reason why I created this, why we are using this property, right? This dot repo underscore count. So you will see it in action. So that is for that. And so let's get back to our make an HTTP call to GitHub. So to do that we actually need to call a function in here. Alright, so let me create a function. Let's call the function first. So this would be get repo underscore, which would be user test. So we want to call this function, this get repo function in here. So let's create it here. So in here we're going to create a function type of async, which should be get repo. So we are passing, remember we are passing this test, this user test. That is to say, if this HTML here, right here, or PHP right here. So we're passing it to this async function right here. So we need to receive it here, user test. user test, and because this is what we call in here get repo, right? We are calling this async function get repo right here. So in here we're going to create a constant type of variable of repo response, which will be equal to await fetch. So what are we fetching? So we're going to use template literally here. So in this we need this URL right here. So and we're just going to paste it here, but we don't need the PHP, right? Because we actually are expecting different input. So we're going to take this input which we receive from here, which we receive from here, and we're going to paste it here by using the $sign, and let's paste a variable. Let's insert that variable right in here. So that is it, right? So we can yeah, let's console log to see console the log. Let's console log let's console log this variable right here and see what happens. So let me save this as well. Then if we should reload and type HTML. Wow, uncut reference error, get repo is not defined at this. Why you not defined? Let's check it out. Alright. We are actually trying to assess calling an async function, but we are what are we calling it from? So we didn't create the what's it called, the instance of this class. So we actually need to init Github. So to do that, we gonna create a constant type of variable of get repo, which will be equal to new Github. So we are creating an instance of this class, and whenever an instance of this class is called, this will actually run automatic. Alright, so for point of correction, let me just insert all these parameters via or properties. So I need the and the client ID, so I need client underscore ID, which should be equal to $sign and this, and we also need the for the secret. So this will be client secret, then which will be equals to this dot client secret. Let me just and last but not the least, we also need and which will be repo underscore pages. Is it pages or page? Oh, per page, not pages. Per page, which is this. Is what we need. So this will be this dot repo underscore count. Yeah, so let me save and let me save. So since we have an instance now of this class here, so this will run automatically, and we want to access this function, right? Because that is what we're actually doing here. Make an HTTP call to GitHub. So we'll take that variable, then dot get repo. So we are calling this function right here by passing the user test. So whatever that is inside in here. So that is it. So let's save and hope everything works okay. Clear, refresh, and HTML. Let's see. Perfect. This is working. So we are actually receiving our response, right? So let's go back to our github.js. So since this is actually working, so what are we going to do now with it? We need JSON, because this is, I don't even know what is this. What is it returning? A lot of files in here, but we need it in a JSON format. So to do that, we going to create a variable with a constant type of repo, which will be equal to await repo, which is this .json, because we need it in a JSON format. See, so let's console log to see console.log this repo and see what happened again. Let's reload and clear this and see HTML. Perfect. So let me try it again. PHP. So we are actually receiving it, and look at it, we are receiving just 4. So if supposing I change it to that of 30, so what we're going to expect, we're going to expect 30 elements. So 30 array of 30 elements. Alright, so that is it. So but we just need just 4. So that is the reason why I'm implementing this repo underscore count. So this is actually working, right? So we are actually receiving Java. So we actually need these items of the array, right? Because the object we're receiving, we need the item of this array. So for us to accomplish that, we can just append dot items here. Is it items? Yeah. Let me check. Yeah, items. So if I should search for Java, so what happens? So now we are receiving just the array of 4. So let's return back, right? Let's return to the calling function. Remember, this function is call, right? Let's return it back to this guy right in here. So to do that, we're going to use the keyword of return. Right? So what are we returning? The repo, which is that repo. So we need repo.items is what we actually need. So this is what we are actually returning. So let me save it. So in here, since we are returning that, remember when you're using this and async and this fetch, you also need to use that of promises, right? I said promises, it will return promises, right? So we're going to use then right in here. So then we need let me create a data right here, an arrow function, and in this we want to display result right in here. Alright, so we're going to display result, and if you check, we should console log in here, console.log the data, which is this data dot repo. Let's see what's going to happen now. Reload, clear, PHP. So we are actually receiving it. So our data is now in here, available in data.repo. So what we want to do, we want to display the result right in our app right now. So to do that, we want to go to our so we don't need this for now. We are done with this github.js. So we want to go to this UI.js and work in it. So that is what we want to call. So let's call that variable. Let's call a function in this UI.js. So UI UI dot why are you unit in here? UI what? UI why are you not working? Okay, UI dot show repo. So we want to pass in the data dot repo. The data dot repo, that's what we want to pass in, right? And in this, in our UI dot JS, we want to create a class. We're going to create a class of UI, and also we want to use a constructor here, constructor, an empty constructor. So we're going to just want to target because we want to display. So we're going to use this to make sure this is run automatically whenever an instance of that class is called. This plus this the display repo, which will be equal to document dot get element by ID. If you should remember, in our display we use an attribute of an ID of display repo. So this is what we want to target right in here, so that we can be able to display our results. Right? So get element by ID. What do you need? I need this. I want to target out. So this will run automatically whenever the instance of this class, of this UI class, is called. So in here we're gonna display repo. Wow. So let's actually create that, because we called a function which is show repo. Let's create the function, so which will be show repo. We want to receive repo. So let's console log to see console.log this repo to see if actually we are receiving the data. So let's save and let's see what happened over here. So HTML, wow, uncaught in promises reference UI is not defined. Yes, you are actually right. This UI is actually not defined, and it's because I failed to initialize the UI here. Const, so const which kind of a UI called new UI, right? UI equal to new UI. So we are actually creating an instance of this. So when this instance is created, this UI, this will actually run immediately, which we hook up to our display right here. And then because of that, we can now use this UI, which is what we use over here, to call this function, this show repo, which is in right in here, and we are passing the data we received to this function right here. So let's console log to see if maybe we'll actually receive it. So if I should reload this and clear this and type PHP, we'll receive this. Perfect. So this is actually working, right? So now we can now loop through our arrays and display it on our website. So to do that, to loop through the array, because we're actually receiving an array, right? This is actually the array we are receiving, right? So we want to loop through it. As you know, we'll take this, the array, because this is the array. Because see, if you just type, if you should type for each, so what happened? We are expanding an array. Then we can also use these this function, but this what's it called, arrow function. So the array we want actually is this, because this is what you're actually receiving in here, this array. So the array, which is in this case would be repo dot for each then I just want to use the normal function with repo for each repo, which is the array. I want to create and output equal to empty. So our output now, variable output is empty right now. So we want to use let output empty. Let's actually create it before this for each. So, and we're going to take our output now and add to it. It should be plus equal to, so we're going to use template literal here. Let me close this. So our output, we need a couple of I think let's go to materialize CSS and get let's search for collection. Collection is what I use. Why is it not working? Materialize. Okay, collection. Why are you not searching? Collection, right? Collections, and the collection I use is this right in here. This is what I use. So I think this in the header here. So I copy this and let's copy that and paste it here and close our UL. Close our UL. Save, and in the image. So remember we are receiving an array, right? Receive this. Where are you? In this file, since in this API in let me use HTML here or any whatever. So in this which is HTML, so in our item I want to display the image. So in the image is an item and the owner, right? So in the owner we need this avatar URL. So because we are receiving the repo as the array, remember that's what we are receiving. So in here we will use we just insert the $, and we need the repo dot avatar underscore URL. No, actually that would be in the owner item owner. So that would be so this would be owner dot avatar URL. So let's actually save this and see what happens next. So in here we want to document dot get element by ID, which is this, and we want to dot inner HTML because we want to output it, which will be equal to our output. So we'll save this. Save, and we reload, clear, and search for HTML. So what happened? What is it? Repo.forEach is not a function. Repo.forEach, it's not a function. For each, yeah, it's actually not a function. This will be for each. And let's save and try it again. Reload, clear, and HTML. Boom! So it's working. So, but we are this is actually a full width, so let's limit that. Okay. So we just need a dev with a class of container. close out there. So save, and let me reload, clear, and PHP, boom. So this is actually working, right? So what I want to do is to avoid, because we have wasted a lot of time in this makeup, and I want to make this video a little bit short. So I just want to copy this right here and paste it here, then save. So this is actually simple. The reason for this custom style is for the margin top, okay, which is this, to just give it a margin top. So margin top of 20 pixels, I forced it to be important, right? That is it. So in the image, we insert these in the name. This is actually for the name, repo.name, and then for the stargazer. So let me just reload and PHP. So this is actually for the name, is what you see right in here. I don't want you to be full with, okay? So this is it. So for the avatar, which is the image, is this. Then for this anchor tag is this. When this is clicked, to take us to the repo page of our search. And for the share, we are using this repo.language via, and this updated is what we're using here. So it's quite simple. All right, I believe this tutorial helped you to get the basic understanding of how to work with API in JavaScript. So you can type JavaScript as well. JavaScript, but there's something when this is empty, see what happens. When it's empty, we want to wipe everything out here. So that is quite simple. That is very, very simple, right? So what we're gonna do is to, let's create a different function right in here. In fact, remember we in our heads we don't know what to do, right? So we just want to call a function using the UI dot clear profile. So when this is called, so let's create it here, save. So in here we're going to create this function, and this would be, since this is what we want to clear. Alright, so we're gonna take the this.repo this.repo.inner HTML equals nothing. Save. So if we should type PHP and everything is clear. So thank you very much, and God bless you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like the video, share the video, and see you in the next lecture.